As I mentioned, we are following breaking news this Friday morning. Billings firefighters were called to an apartment building fire early this morning and were seen attempting CPR on one victim at the scene. Our own Samantha Sullivan is at the scene west of downtown on Avenue B with the latest. Samantha, what can you tell us?
Well, Victoria, things have changed a bit in the last 40 minutes. 40 minutes ago, there were still flames coming from the roof here at this duplex on Avenue B. In the last 40 minutes, though, they've been able to get that knocked out, thankfully. Now, the building is still smoking, but things have calmed down a bit here at the scene. Firefighters are kind of working to get the smoke out of the building, so they will eventually be able to get back inside and do their investigation into the cause of this fire. We still, of course, don't know that yet and likely won't for another at least few hours. As you did mention, there was one man. He was taken from the building and transported to a hospital. We don't know his condition right now. Firefighters here on scene weren't able to provide us with that information yet. They did say that after he was taken from the building, they did do a thorough check of the building. They do not believe anybody else was inside, and then they began to continue their firefighting efforts here. Obviously, like we said, things have changed, but things are calming down here right now. And of course, as we've been mentioning all morning and frankly all week, this cold weather isn't making it any easier for the firefighters here on scene. We had a couple of inches of fresh snow. It's, as Rob mentioned, about 2 below with the wind chill right now. So firefighters are working to kind of stay warm in their rotations of fighting this fire, but so far they've been doing a good job. They've been able to get this fire knocked out. And as we mentioned, we'll be continuing to give you updates. Right now, the biggest thing for people at home, this road is closed. There are fire trucks on scene, there are police officers on scene. And so from about 32nd Street all the way to 1st or 2nd Avenue along Avenue B, you'd want to avoid that area if you're going to be out and about anytime soon. It will likely be closed for the next hour or so at least. Victoria, for now, I'll send it back to you, but we'll continue with updates throughout the morning.
That's right. Thank you. And we will check in with you once more before the end of the show this morning. Thank you, Samantha. Going now on special assignment, chances are you or someone you know has been a victim of car theft. And it may surprise you to know Billings ranks high nationwide when it comes to stolen cars. Q2's Andrea Lutz takes a look at the high rate of stolen vehicles across our city, finds out why thieves target specific cars and how you can protect yourself from grand theft auto.
In Billings, an average of 2 cars a day stolen.
I was angry. I was extremely unapologetically angry that night.
Gerald Giebink's truck is part of that statistic.
Was looking up and down the road that had my car in it, and it was definitely not there, and I looked around the rest of the parking lot and it was completely empty.
With just 26 days before his graduation from Rocky Mountain College, inside his 1997 Toyota 4Runner were precious items.
Some of my interim papers that still needed to be turned in, we're all gone.
His collegiate achievements driven away by someone else in his car. His mom, Rita, watched her son's success momentarily derailed.
You know, there's so many emotions that happen simultaneously because I felt such anguish for him and fear for him.
In 2017, Billings ranked 15th in the nation as a hotspot for stolen vehicles. Last year, Billings had 952 stolen vehicles compared to Great Falls, which had 228, and Missoula, where there was 235.
These numbers to me are troubling because
Lieutenant Brandon Woolley gives us some insight into why Billings seems to have a grand theft epidemic.
You know, other cities and other places have chop shops or people who steal vehicles for a living. Usually, typically what we see is they're used in drug nexus crimes.
And thieves are tenacious, sometimes breaking into vehicles and punching out ignitions.
So it'll be driven around for a little bit, ditched in the neighborhood. It'll be sold and traded for drugs or other monetary values.
However, most times, Woolley says it's a crime of convenience.
And they left their vehicle unattended for just a couple of minutes while it was warming up, and the vehicle was stolen unlocked with keys in it already.
Billings police say 754 vehicles were stolen within city limits in 2018, with the hardest hit areas right downtown, leaving victims feeling helpless.
But it's that sense of security and the violation of your privacy and your ownership of something that you worked hard for that is really hard to get back.
A sense of security Giebink also lost.
It's not just a single crime of opportunity. They make these crimes of opportunity essentially a lifestyle.
Roughly a month after Gerald's truck was stolen, police recovered it after a crash. It was trashed and used in his accomplice in a host of other crimes.
Pipes for meth, pipes for marijuana. We found some drugs, paraphernalia. Other than that, scales, bags, paper, all kinds of stuff. We found a handgun.
So they worked to return items. This necklace with someone's ashes inside, one of the last to find its home.
The degree that it affects your own personal safety, I just really don't think you can measure that.
So the Giebinks proposed this: support for community resources and a little bit more stake in one's personal security as a way to park this sweeping epidemic of stolen cars. In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
And police tell Andrea there really isn't a specific vehicle model thieves go after. The bottom line, you should have a way to track your car with an app or in-car device, and do not leave your car unlocked or your keys inside your locked car. A lawsuit filed by the family of a man who was shot and killed by a Billings police officer back in 2014 has been settled. Richard Ramirez was shot by Officer Grant Morrison during a traffic stop on the Billings South Side. A coroner's inquest held the next year determined Morrison was justified in shooting Ramirez. And a year later, in 2016, the Ramirez family filed a suit against Morrison, the city of Billings, and Police Chief Rich St. John. The case was scheduled for a jury trial that would have begun on Monday, but the case was settled out of court this week. While the terms have not been released, the family's attorney, J.R. Casillas, tells Q2 there was a financial settlement reached. He also told us while he would have liked to take the case to trial, the family felt it was time for closure. Billings Assistant Administrator Kevin Iflin says city officials looked at the reality of civil cases and the cost of the case moving forward and decided to agree on the deal. He says the city stands by the original verdict from the coroner's inquest. Meanwhile, a Crow tribal judge orders the tribe's vice chairman to stop publicly claiming he's the tribe chair. Crow tribal judge Eldina Bear-Don't-Walk granted an injunction sought by Chairman A.J. Not Afraid, who was elected to the position in 2016. Last year, Carlson Goes Ahead and the tribe secretary, Sean Backbone, say they successfully recalled Not Afraid, which has led to a power struggle with the tribe's leadership. In a 3-page ruling, the judge wrote the dueling claims to the chairmanship created irreparable harm for the tribe and public interest demands one leader be identified. From the 66th session in Helena, the 2019 Montana legislature is starting its midpoint transmittal break a day or two early and won't return to Helena for at least a week. Lawmakers had been scheduled to be in Helena until Saturday to wrap up the session's first half, but the Senate finished its first half business on Wednesday evening, and the State House stayed late Thursday to complete its final floor debate before the break. House members will report to the Capitol this morning for some final votes before heading home for a 10-day break. Not all members get the whole time off, however. The House Appropriations Committee is scheduled to start meeting next Thursday in Helena to consider House Bill 2, the session's major spending bill. The Senate also plans to be back in business that day as well. The second half of the 2019 session will be in full gear starting on March 11th. But before they enter the break, a trio of bills to restrict vaccine requirements went down in defeat in the Montana House. The bills drew universal opposition that would allow people to claim religious or medical exemptions from having their kids vaccinated. Another bill would have prevented the state from enforcing vaccines in foster and daycare. Supporters say it's an issue of freedom. Opposition says you have to keep your children safe.
We've been able to eradicate most childhood diseases. The facts are irrefutable. The safety of our state is at risk right now, considering what's going on in the state of Washington. It's our responsibility to make sure that our children are safe.
The bills failed by wide margins. 9 new Highway Patrol troopers will hit the road soon. They were commissioned at the 65th Advanced Academy graduation ceremony Thursday. The graduates completed 20 weeks of rigorous training. Brennan Plucker of Bozeman was honored with the Michael Haynes Memorial Grant for his exceptional work. Haynes was struck and killed by a drunk driver in March of 2009.
Today is important to me because this is the next step. This is the transition from my time in training to being out on the road and being able to make that impact that I set out to do from the start.
And now over in western Montana, residents in the Rattlesnake neighborhood of Missoula are on high alert. All the snow piling up has led to an urban avalanche warning in the Mount Jumbo area. And around noon Thursday, witnesses watched a slide near the Missoula International School. The school decided to keep students inside and contacted the Missoula Avalanche Center for advice. Although there was no immediate threat to the building, the incident was a reminder of 5 years ago. 5 years ago to the day, a deadly avalanche swept a two-story home off its foundation, burying 3 people alive in the lower Rattlesnake. The brunt force of the avalanche crushed the home at the base of Mount Jumbo in 2014. A couple in the home and an 8-year-old boy were buried alive. Dozens of rescuers and neighbors desperately dug for the victims that night using shovels, avalanche probes, and their hands. The boy was found about an hour after the slide in good condition. The man, former UN professor Fred Allendorf, was found alive in an air pocket created by a fallen chimney. His wife, 68-year-old Michelle Colville, was located some 3 hours after the avalanche. She was also found alive in an air pocket, but critically injured and died a few days later. Authorities say the slide was triggered by a snowboarder. The Quake Lake area, about 40 miles south of Ennis, experienced an avalanche. The slide happened early Thursday morning on Highway 287 at mile marker 4. Traffic is once again moving on the highway, but the avalanche initially covered all lanes of traffic. It took road crews a couple of hours to get one lane open in each direction. There were no injuries.